Several days ago, a supposed description of what could be the new storyline for the Power Rangers reboot was leaked, and we must analyze this very carefully, as the people who leak this information sometimes get the information they publish wrong. Since this information has been on the internet for several days, many of you already know all the details, but for those who haven't seen anything, we're going to repeat everything so we can do a detailed analysis. According to the information leaked on the internet, the synopsis of the reboot begins when a small town is shaken by a series of strange temporal anomalies, disappearances of people, changes in memories, and the appearance of fragments of futuristic technology. A group of misfits and outcasts are drawn to the center of it all, in a forgotten facility buried beneath the city. This group is chosen to become the first Power Rangers team in several decades, but the world no longer remembers that the Rangers ever existed. The style they want to give this story is a mystery style, similar to detective novels or the series Stranger Things. Another important detail mentioned in the information is that the seasons that have been part of the canon for the past 30 years will also be part of this reboot, but as something from the distant past or in an alternate universe. That means the new story could be set in the distant future after the events of Power Rangers Time Force, as this is the last team in the timeline. The story could also be taking place in an alternate universe, in which case the other Ranger teams would be in a different universe but would still be part of the canon. One important thing this information mentions is that they are supposedly going to delve deeper into the history and mystery of the Morphin grid, and this is something very important that we need to analyze. Since the beginning of the franchise, we have always heard about the Power Rangers' source of power, but in none of the seasons did they manage to delve deeper into this topic. In fact, the only stories that delve into the Morphin grid are the comics, and because this format has some limitations, they cannot extend the story too much. We cannot blame the Power Rangers franchise for not delving into the source of the Rangers' power, as this is a rather complicated subject and young audiences would not have understood it or perhaps would have found it boring. Since this new series will be aimed at a more mature audience, one of the topics that should be explored in greater depth is the source of power, to make everything more interesting and so that new fans can better understand the Power Rangers universe. Those of us who have known the Power Rangers for many years already know quite a lot about this topic, but even so, I think it would be good to have more information. Another important detail about this information on the internet is that the Rangers will be more focused on investigating, and the fights will not be the most important thing. For this reason, the style will have a tone of mystery and investigation, similar to Stranger Things or Police series. This is a huge change since, during the 30 years we've been watching the Power Rangers, the fights were the most important part, and this is because children want to see action. Although the fights can be entertaining, the reality is that for adults, the most important thing is the drama, because without a good story, the fights would be meaningless. When a battle has a story, a purpose, and a connection with the audience, that battle becomes personal. In the world of TV superheroes, we all know that one of the best battles was the one between Thanos and Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man. This battle represents many years of history, connection, and passion for the characters. It is full of purpose and has a very deep meaning because of the great defeat the heroes suffered in the previous movie. That's why the fights in the Power Rangers reboot need to take a long time to happen so that they can be meaningful to the audience. Another important thing is that the budget for creating this new series is supposed to be very large, which opens up a world of possibilities. We all know that the Power Rangers have always been created on a very low budget, which has resulted in the final product being of somewhat low quality. There are many reasons for this, but that's not what's important. What's important is that a high budget can change everything. We saw this in the 2017 movie, which had a very large budget and was of spectacular quality. At the same time, this film lets us know that visual quality is not the most important thing, as it was a failure despite being a pretty good film, but it was not suitable for fans of the franchise. It is for this reason that the budget does not guarantee that the new series will be a success, but it is an important tool for this reboot to revive the franchise. We must remember that the purpose of this reboot is not only to please fans, but also to create new fans for the franchise. In order to achieve this, many things are needed, since those of us who are already fans of the franchise will continue to consume any new Power Rangers project regardless of its quality. Many may think this is not true, but I am sure that if a sequel to the 2017 film were released tomorrow, all fans of the franchise would see it. The failure of the 2017 film was not because the Power Rangers community did not go to see it. I am sure that the entire community of this franchise went to the cinema to see this film. The failure of that movie was because it failed to motivate new viewers to go to the theater, and because the Power Rangers community is not large enough to generate millions in box office sales, the movie did not generate enough revenue. That is why the reboot must focus on creating something different, something that can captivate a new audience, those who have never seen Power Rangers before. At the same time, it must also be interesting for those of us who are already fans so that we also support this new universe, and that is why this project is so complex. According to the opinions I read online about this synopsis of the reboot, many fans love the new style and the new story. I want you to write in the comments what you think about all the information that has just been leaked so that I can know if you, the true Power Rangers fans, agree with everything new that is being developed. In my opinion, I think that if they manage to create a dark style, with drama and a lot of fantasy, this new universe can work. Although drama and investigation have been mentioned a lot, I think fantasy should also be involved, as the new universe cannot become a boring or emotionless series. One of the most incredible things about Power Rangers has always been the fantasy, the powers, the time travel, the multiverse, and the transformations. Since they will be investigating the source of the Rangers' power, it is impossible to do this without adding fantasy, as the Morphin grid can be illustrated in a very creative way. I hope the new writers and producers don't waste this great opportunity to create an impressive universe, as we all know that Power Rangers has the potential to be one of the best superhero series. I also hope that the quality of the reboot is not the same as that of all the DC comic series, because although some were quite entertaining, they are not really impressive. Write your opinion about the new universe in the comments, like this video, and subscribe for more information about the Power Rangers reboot.